my name is Leah Larkin, and I do genetic genealogy for a living. I sometimes help adoptees find their biological parents. Sometimes it's an unknown grandparent. I solve family mysteries, and I also help to create tools for genetic genealogy. And
tell me a little bit about what Banyan DNA is going to do for genealogy.
Okay, well, not to be too hyperbolic, but I think it's actually going to revolutionize how we can analyze, especially autosomal DNA matches. But it actually has sort of three main functions. One of them is that it is a way of depicting complex trees. So a way of just diagramming out a tree when you have multiple connections, like you've got a cousin marriage, you've got two brothers who marry two sisters. And you can do that even if you've never taken a DNA test. You can use Banyan DNA to sketch out these complex trees that other tools don't really sketch out. I mean, our tools typically will show a pedigree or the descendants, but not both in the same diagram. So Banyan DNA can do that even if you've never tested. If you have tested, especially if you've tested multiple people in your family, which most of us have done. We've tested our siblings and our cousins and our aunts and our uncles, and you have all these DNA matches. You match them, your aunt matches them, your cousin does. You can actually plug in the centimorgan amounts between your people and all of those other people and build out the tree connecting you all. And Banyan DNA can alert you to places in the tree where maybe the DNA is not fully supporting the relationships that you've documented. So maybe somebody's really a half-second cousin and nobody knew. And maybe you could figure it out on your own, but oftentimes you get a much stronger sense of what's really going on when you have multiple matches, all comparing from one side, your side of the family, to the other side of the family. So Banyan DNA can do that for you. Even if you don't know you have mysteries, it can help you find those spots in your tree where maybe the DNA is not lining up. And then the third thing that it can do is help, for example, somebody who is adopted or who has an unknown grandfather, an unknown great-grandparent, try to place themselves in the tree of their matches when there are multiple connections. So I have an adoptee case that I used as a demonstration where the adoptee's closest match shared 320 centimorgans, which is normally a great match, except that woman's parents were first cousins to one another, which left us in a bit of a bind because we didn't know, we don't know how to estimate the relationships when there's when you have two cousins who married and had the child. But Banyan DNA can help with situations like that as well. So kind of like the what are the odds tool, but for complex trees.
What are the odds on steroids?
What are the odds on steroids? Absolutely. So Banyan DNA, like a lot of the tools that we have for genetic genealogy, we understand that we have a lot of people who, they are on fixed incomes, they're retired, they don't have tons of money to throw around. So it's a freemium model. You can build a small project for free. You can build one small project after another, but you can only have one at a time for the free tier. If you would like to subscribe and maintain multiple projects and larger projects and some added tools, you can subscribe to the tool on an annual basis. The normal subscription is $75 a year, but for RootsTech, we have a promo code, which is Roots24, and that will give you the first year for $50. So it's a pretty substantial discount.
How many projects could you have then?
If you are a subscriber, if you're a premium subscriber, you can have 50 projects at a time that are on your dashboard. And we also allow our premium subscribers to export a file. So if you get to 51, you can take a project, you can export it, and just store it on your hard drive. And then later on, you'll have to boot somebody else off and bring them back in if you want to work them again. But that allows you to essentially have as many projects as you want, but only 50 are on your dashboard at a time.
One time, yeah.
I haven't gotten to 50 yet. I've been using it for a while. So.
Yeah, and you wouldn't necessarily use it for everything that you would use WATO for, or would you?
You can.
Would it replace WATO? No.
You could replace WATO, but I think there are a lot of situations where you wouldn't need to. Like if you have a simple, straightforward tree without pedigree collapse, you'll do just fine with blood.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for somebody to ask me which one I like better.
Which one do you like better? Well, you help design, or you.
So
WATO is your baby too.
WATO is based on my idea. I was doing the calculations literally in a spreadsheet before I met Johnny Pearl, and Johnny Pearl created this amazing online tool that just automates everything. My spreadsheet, I still have it someplace. It's horrible. Like, if you want to be traumatized, I will show you my spreadsheet. So which one do I like better? It's like asking a mom which one of her kids she likes the best, and the honest answer is it depends on the day. Some days I like my daughter better, some days I like my son better, some days I like WATO better, some days I like Banyan better. It just depends on what your needs are.
So how long did it take you, like from the idea to today?
So the original idea, the original coding for BanyanD was actually done by a professor named William Press, who is Margaret Press's family. And I think he wrote that in 2019, but I don't think that I became aware of it until 2020. And we've been working on it, often not working on it, often having it sit in the background until we met these young developers who took this. It's a really hairy thing. You have to almost know how to program to use the original code. And we didn't have a user interface, and we knew we could never bring it to the genealogy community without a user interface.
Right.
And so Jared and Carson, who are I cannot say enough about how awesome they are, our developers. They're the ones who gave us this like really intuitive tree building and DNA matching interface that took that bare bones program and turned it into something that I think everybody wants. But it's been a long road.
Anyways, well, thank you.
Well, thank you guys for interviewing me.